If you want the option to exit Australia's tax system one day, there's one factor you need to understand early, because getting this wrong can materially change how easy or how difficult your residency position becomes to defend. I call it the 2-year factor. It isn't a law, but it's a powerful signal in how the ATO assesses residency. I'm Vina White, CEO of WellSafe. Australian tax residency is always fact-specific, but time offshore is one of the most important variables in the entire residency conversation. So let's talk about why the 2-year factor matters. In simple terms, the ATO has historically treated 2 years overseas as a meaningful indicator when reviewing residency. For example, if you're overseas for less than 2 years, the ATO will often look much closely at whether you genuinely broke continuity with Australia. If you're overseas for more than 2 years, it generally becomes easier to argue that your life has genuinely moved elsewhere, assuming the underlying facts support that position. So the common mistake is thinking, I'll just go overseas for 6 months or 12 months and that will do it. That's often where disputes arises because short time frames create ambiguity. For founders and business owners, this becomes even more important because in the real world, timing rarely behaves perfectly. A business needs you, a child needs stability, a deal emerges, a family event happens. So if your exit strategy depends on a perfectly timed short window, it's fragile. Exit optionality means building a plan that can absorb real life. Now let's be very clear. 2 years is not a magic switch. Being overseas for 2 years does not automatically make you a non-resident, and being overseas for less than 2 years does not automatically make you a resident. But 2 years is a weighting factor because the stronger your time offshore becomes, the less the ATO needs to rely on assumptions about your ongoing ties to Australia. Here's how founders and business owners should think about this intelligently. If you're not leaving Australia today, you plan from the perspective of what would need to be true if I left in 12 months? What would need to be true if I left in 24 months? What would need to be true if I left in 36 months? That's exit optionality. We model it, we sequence it, and we ensure the structure doesn't collapse if the timeline shifts. So the takeaway is this. If you want a stronger residency position later, the plan usually requires 3 things: a longer runway, a clear break in continuity with Australia, a genuine base elsewhere. And that leads directly to the next episode because time offshore alone is never enough. In episode 4, I'll show you the 2 moves that actually create a defensible residency position. Sever continuity with Australia, establish a genuine base elsewhere. If you're a founder or business owner 12 to 36 months from potential relocation, and want a structured assessment of your position, you can request an exit optionality assessment before you make a move that's difficult to unwind. See you in episode 4.